Julie Beck joins us now on set. Julie, thanks very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So you said something that I think many people would in their hearts think is obvious, but very few people are willing to say out loud. You said it knowing you would likely be punished for saying it, but you said it anyway. Why did you do that?
I believe in the truth. I believe that people should have these conversations and say things that matter without fear of punishment.
You are old-fashioned. Why do you think, I couldn't agree with you more, and I'm grateful that you have that attitude, but why do you think it was important to say this specifically?
Well, when we get down to it, women and girls all share a biological reality. We are all female. But if any male person can call himself a woman or legally identify as female, then predatory men will do so in order to gain access to women's single-sex spaces, and this puts every woman and girl at risk.
That's from the beginning. I don't weigh in on this often because sexual politics is a morass, and it's not worth it, to be totally honest with you. But I have enough daughters that I care, and my instinct has always been this change in our society, which we never debated, the terms have never been clarified, is not going to be good for girls in the long run. Do you share that concern?
I definitely do agree. Like I said, this puts every woman and girl at risk of male violence, and this is already happening in many states. In many states, men can legally identify themselves as female and gain access to women's single-sex spaces. And sports is just one institution where men are taking titles, scholarships, and this is a problem.
So it seems like a real problem. Why wouldn't women's groups who exist to carry the banner for women raise the alarm about this?
Women have been speaking out about this for decades, but we have been effectively silenced. Many women like myself have been pushed out of spaces that we built, spaces that are intended to include us, simply because we acknowledge biological reality.
Do you think, I mean, you're lesbian, you are in the same acronym as a bunch of other groups, including people who are transgendered. Do you think that makes it more difficult for you to make this argument? I mean, it seems like this has been so politicized that you're expected to have a certain set of views that maybe you don't have.
I see where you're coming from. I would like to make a distinction here. The letters in the acronym share not much. The L, G, and B are based on sexualities. They're based on sex, biological realities.
Yes.
But the T is based on gender identity, which is not based in biological reality. In fact, I would argue that it's opposed to biological reality. The LGB is very different from the T, and I don't think it's fair to lump us all into the same acronym.
Do you find it astounding that it is considered an act of bravery to defend biology?
I wouldn't say so myself, but I guess that's where we are right now. And I hope more women stand up.
Last question, because I can't remember. What did they say to you? You were thrown off this commission. You were punished for saying this out loud. What was the rationale for it?
Frankly, there was no case made. My accuser said that they didn't have to make a case. One of the members of my committee argued that sex was a thing of the past. He said, frankly, science had progressed so far that sex was unimportant. I argued the opposite.
Julie Beck, at a time like this, everyone thinks, I would say what I really think, but most people are afraid to, and you're not. And I'm definitely standing in admiration of that. Thank you for that.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Yeah, she called me and told me that she had an issue up there about my grandson being in the dress. I mean, I'm trying to see what the issue is about that.
Okay, you'll have to talk to Dara.
Who's
the
Dara?
Director. She's down in the other class.
Is she the one that was in charge of the kids while my
I
grandson?
was, but I can't talk to you.
Why?
Because you're not on the form. You will have to get Dara up here and she will let you. Talk to you about it.
I mean, first of all, I'm coming down here because we don't do that. The transgender and all that. We don't do that.
I understand. I don't either.
And I don't appreciate you encouraging him to put on no dress. for the second day too. I don't appreciate that. And don't think this is going away. I'm going further with this.
Okay, you can go down and talk
No,
to
I'm not
Sarah.
done talking to you. I'm letting you know the next time that you put any kid in a dress, we're gonna make you go viral.
Okay, you need to go talk to my director. Because I, as a teacher.
No, I'm letting you know I got an issue with you about that. I'm not playing with you.
I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you feel that way. But you should have called me before you made the decision to put my grandson in a dress.
Okay, you can speak to the
No, I'm speaking to you.
Please do not talk to me in that tone with my children.
I wouldn't be up here if you wouldn't put my grandson in no dress.
Again,
Well, do what you gotta
take it
do.
up with Miss
No,
Garrett.
I'm taking it up with you.
Please lower your voice. You're in a classroom.
I'm taking it up with you. Well, you shouldn't have put my grandson in no dress.
These two.
This ain't over with, all right?
I want to show you another quick sneak peek. This is something that I posted on Twitter a couple days ago. Quick sneak peek from the film, and this relates to everything we talked about really in the opening. It's sort of the logical conclusion of the leftist sexual agenda. What happens when we become unmoored from truth, unmoored from reality, from our moral tradition, and we took the rabbit hole all the way down in the film. So I want to play this clip from What is a Woman, which is available now at whatiswoman.com. You can become a subscriber and watch, but here it is.
Now we are seeing kids that are identifying as animals going to school, and they are purring instead of answering questions, and they meow, and the teachers are not allowed to question it because it's considered a queer identity.
So you have kids that are going to school and they're saying, I'm a cat.
Mhm.
And the teachers have to affirm them as a cat.
Yes. So it's
The
not
schools
just
are
the
like
young ones.
literal zoos now, basically.
They are.
I am a 27-year-old transgender woman. I am a Wolfarian and a member of the furry fandom.
When and how did you discover this inner wolfness?
Probably around age 10 or 11. I was watching an anime about wolves and see the wolf running across the screen, and I'm somehow just intrinsically like, oh, that's me.
Have you spent any time around biological wolves?
Yes.
That sounds dangerous also. What context are you?
So I was a volunteer with a preserve, and I've also visited many wolf preserves.
Are you able to communicate with the wolves?
Am I going to have a conversation with a wolf in the way that I'm communicating you and I? Obviously not. Am I going to read their body language, respond appropriately to their behaviors and their nonverbal cues? Yes.
Would you be able to give us an example of this wolf communication?
No. I'm not comfortable doing so.
Okay, all right. I mean, I thought I'd ask him. I would be interested to know. I mean, I still would like to know what really what the interpersonal communication between a wolf is like. And you see that and you think, well, that's absurd, and you can kind of laugh about it. And sure, but I'm telling you right now, this is not any kind of extreme slippery slope possibility. I think that a few years from now, that someone, I don't know if it's going to be me, but someone's going to have to make a film called What is a Human? Because this trans species stuff, this is not just a fringe fad, outlier type of thing. This, as we heard from Sarah Stockton, who's the therapist in the first part of that clip, this is a very common thing. And she's not the only one saying that. We hear from people that work in the schools, therapists that feel like they can speak out without having their careers destroyed, that this is a thing now. Kids, this is what kids are doing. And it's like, well, and of course kids are doing that. When you tell kids that, hey, you can be whatever you want to be, your identity is up to you. Of course, a lot of them are going to say, oh, well, I'm a wolf, or I'm a whatever, I'm a monkey. And usually, in a sane society, kids pretending to be animals, as long as they're kids. Now, the person we were talking to there, was it Wolfarian, not a kid, that's an adult. But For kids pretending to be animals, usually it's, my own kids do that sometimes. My 2-year-old runs around pretending to be an animal. And that's perfectly fine. That's using your imagination. Except that we don't live in a sane society. And so now we latch on to that and say, okay, well, that's who you are now. That's your identity. That's not just a game. That's who you are. So look out for the sequel, What is a Human? Dropping sometime in the next few years.
What seems to be the problem, officer?
You've been driving in the carpool lane for the past 3 miles. Alone.
Alone? Well, you should know that my pronouns are they, them. So we can drive in the carpool lane.
I got a driver out here in the carpool lane says her pronouns are they.
Excuse me, her?
Let's just get your license and registration, please, ma'am. Ma'am, you. Can I say you?
You want me to provide photo ID? Racist much?
Okay, how about just a vaccine card then?
Yeah, no problem. I've got all my medical records right here. We were boosted 7 times, 1 for each of us. Anyway, it's all there. Are we free to go, sir?
Wait. I'm sorry. Did you just assume my gender? It's actually offensive to look at somebody and assume by their appearance that they are a man or a woman.
Man or woman? Now you're implicitly perpetuating the oppressive societal construct of the gender binary onto me, a victim of violent police aggression.
Please stop yelling. Verbal attacks are violence, which is triggering.
Trigger? Are you going to shoot me? I literally can't even.
Don't you mean we?
Yeah, we literally can't even.
Saying you can't do something is ableist and mocks people that actually have a mental or physical disability.
We have a mental disability.
Well, I'm 1024th Navajo, and you're lucky that I'm giving you a fine and not kicking you off my ancestral land that you white colonizers stole from my people.
You can't find we. That money funds police departments and perpetuates the terrorization of underprivileged communities and the expansion of the police state. What?
I need backup at the 405 in Santa Monica. They're getting away.
What, they? How many of them are there? Who's getting away?
They are! They are!
Yeah, I can't make it. I gotta hear him holding up a Caesar at a Pizza Hut Taco Bell.
Oh, cool. Can you pick me up a pan pizza?
You got it, bud.